Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Talking about some of the news of today, which IBM said they will start a first dedicated business unit to only take care of cognitive business, right? That's obviously something IBM has been talking about for quite some time, namely mainly around Watson. But let's do what I usually do in writing. Let's take a look at the press release and dissect it together, which I'm trying to share here. And I can't find. Oh, well, this is live, so you can only rehearse these things so far. So let me see where it is, because I thought I had it running and open. Oh, I know what happened. Maximized window, here we go. Sorry about that. And now we should be able to find it. Here we go. So you should be able to see the press release from today. IBM launched industry-first consulting practice dedicated to cognitive business. Interesting, lots of attention to it. Today, one of our esteemed competitors is having their yearly, I guess it's a user conference. IBM CEO Gina Rometty was there using that for launch this morning, getting ready here at an event in Las Vegas. She was talking about in CNBC, so making really clear that this is a big thing from an IBM perspective, right? And here we go right away, because we see the focusing of Watson being a key part to enable this. And IBM is doing a lot to push in the analytics mobile space, as we heard this morning, equally on the cloud and PaaS side, right? Cognitive is interesting. I can't, oh, I need to go to the original window. Here we go. Cognitive is an entire new model of computing, a range of technologies. I'm not going to quote what our friends over at another analyst companies are saying. And then interesting enough, it's always good to see the basic research IBM is doing with the Institute for Business Planning, which did a survey, not surprising, to a topic near and dear to IBM's heart, and finding some very interesting numbers in insurance, retail, healthcare. Usually the colleagues over there go to market from a vertical perspective. And no surprise, they're saying that cognitive is an important thing to do, which we shouldn't be surprised about happening. We also see a quote of the leader of the unit, Stephen Pratt, talking nice things about what's going to happen around that and how informative and important it's going to be for the future of business and overall how cognitive is going to take up. And then we come to some interesting parts talking about examples. And here comes also the crux, in my view, to a certain point, is it's all neutral, right? A major retailer is doing something, a leading consumer insurance, working with healthcare organizations and financial services and education and so on. So it's interesting, it's early phases, stages in general for cognitive. It's also clear it has tremendous power to do certain things for companies and enterprises. And they are usually, when they're trying to do something strategic, not that open to share that widely and with their name, because it creates a competitive advantage for them and the chance of potentially disrupting their industry and their vertical. But it will be important for IBM to show some, as we say, sometimes the proof is in the pudding, and that means tangible customers with tangible payoffs and investments on that. So still early days, but will be good, and we'll look forward to hear about the first ones of these. And then, of course, IBM brings 50,000 analytical engagements. That's quite a lot with them, and has massive experience from IBM Research and over 30,000 professionals. So carving out 2,000 for the initial start of the cognitive business unit isn't too much, I would say. But it's a good start, and IBM, of course, reminds us of the $1 billion investment that they're putting into Watson, and 25,000 IBM consultant practitioners will be trained on cognitive computing this fall. So something never to forget. Glad to see that at the very end, IBM is doing something which we think at Constellation is very interesting from their strategy, that has found strategic partnerships. Well, Apple, that's mobile, but with Twitter, the Weather Channel, and Facebook, that's really interesting for powering something which cognitive needs, right? So you can only do cognitive things with owning and knowing data. Data as a service is a potential way, and IBM is signing all these deals with content providers, which should make Watson and any cognitive pieces more valuable, because if you have more data, you can come to better insights, better learning, and better general analytical modeling. So let's take a quick look to the dedicated website IBM has brought up also for the cognitive piece. Here we go. We see the general part. Think seems to be back at IBM, a long-time logo of the company. Outthink now, so maybe something for the 21st century. And interesting way of doing this website with highlighting the things which are important, right? And IBM is right, information overload is staggering. Business professionals need to make more sense of data and find out how they can come to insights or better things. And outthinking / cognitive computing might be a solution there. Doing it visually is also interesting. A big point IBM has been stressing, 80%, Ginny Rometty said that too, of data is dark data. They don't explain so much how it is and how we can make dark data visual data. So Watson is, of course, the key for that, to understand that information, what to think. Business can now outthink other businesses, okay, interesting. So how do you outthink them? With deeper personal engagement, deeper expertise, invent new class and products or services, use processes and operations that think. That's the interesting cognitive part, right? So that they're adaptive and learn. Learning is generally a key thing of next generation applications. You don't want to go back and code things again and again every time something changes, right? Those are days of the past. These are the, as I'm hearing here, is the old guard application of modeling is, and then of course the speed of exploration and discovery. But the overall trend, which cognitive really is doing, is putting more intelligence away from in front of the screen, or in front of the LCD, to behind the LCD, right? That's the general trend we see here. And Watson, of course, is the platform, right? Multi-billion, probably by now, billion still going to be invested into Watson going forward. Interesting that it's being quoted here, an interesting format about what can be done, can be further explored from different ladies and gentlemen talking about what can be done there. I never get the whole food example. It's always fun to do and see what Watson can do, but my view is IBM should stay away from that because it doesn't add to the business context of it. I mean, it's nice to do some fun things, always good for some fun, so good to see. Similar here, Watson and me as a part. So this is the nutshell, the Outthink website. If it's really going to power this, let's stop sharing so you can see, well, maybe not that good looking as a young lady, me here. If it's really going to help IBM, will have to be seen. It's too early to say. It's certainly good to see some dedicated effort taking place around this. If you have a unique product offering, you need also the services to make the product offering fly. Overall concern is it took so long for Watson to get there. I think IBM made a good move by pushing analytical services libraries into Bluemix, this platform as a service product, to have people building cognitive applications. Most of these applications will not be shrink wrapped, but will be built. And now it's good to see a dedicated professional services unit being formed. Proof is to be coming. First step, certainly. It's early days in cognitive business. The competition isn't sleeping either. We've seen a number of other alternative offerings coming out there for cognitive. Some of them we would even say more advanced, but that's part for a different blog post because I'm talking about this way too long, doing a first news analyst piece as a video blog post. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Greetings from Las Vegas. Have a good week. Thanks. Bye-bye.